All right, my friends, here we go. Welcome to the dojo. Let me make this disc a little higher. Oh, it goes high into sky. We might also check in on David's game. I'm not sure if it's going to be televised. I don't know. We'll find out. We have this week a lot of, usually it's kind of evenly split between under 1,000 and over 1,000, but this week we're definitely more under heavy. Is that bottom heavy? Bottom heavy. So tomorrow's show will be short indeed. Maybe we'll cover David's game. I think David has to win basically to get on the top boards. Like maybe we'll see him today. Like here's his game over here. I don't know. They're on a delay anyway. So if it starts, it's going to be in 10 minutes. Okay. So I think I'm going to continue my tradition. Oh, let's start at the bottom. Sometimes I don't know where to start. Is it at the bottom or is it at the top? Today we're going to start at the bottom. So this is Celine. Celine doesn't have much to say. Let's give him a click and see what's going on. Give him a follow. 309. Looking good. Do they have tactics? No. They haven't done their tactics at all. Okay. So clubs? Nope. Activity? Looks like a little bit of tactics. And games? No. So, Celine joined the program a couple months ago. And, well, it's cool that they graduated. I have a feeling they're kind of not doing much, And that's okay. But we want Celine to work a little harder on that. Boom! Get to the next cohort. Well, that's progress. That's definitely progress. All right, next up we have Moti. Moti has graduated loads of times. And I don't know why I haven't followed Moti yet. Now, it's a little bit confusing, actually, because Moti, it says that the new cohort is 4 to 5, but then here Moti's over here at 314. So that's a definite no comprende. I think they're moving around in the cohorts, you guys. All right, so I'm going to skip this one. Moti, when you're ready to graduate to 3, it would be the 3 to 400, right? Yeah. So, all right, we'll come back to you, Moti. Next up, we have Jared Hall. Jared wrote me a novel. I like novels. Let's read this novel. Hi, Lazy Saturday. I'm glad to hear that you're addicted to the puzzles. Hopefully, you've checked out the dojo puzzles. We are working hard behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes in. You got to make the puzzles. You got to do the UI. You got to make sure the rating thing works out. I discovered last week that the rating system we have there's problems with it. So we're working on that. But, we're getting good at it. Next month, maybe in a couple weeks, we're basically ready to launch it. We have the endgame tests. And then we have, after that, we're going to do the positional test. Okay, so this is Jared Hall. For the last decade, I let life get in the way of having fun. That changed a few months ago, and I rediscovered chess. When I started playing again, my old ELO rating went straight into the toilet. I worried that maybe I was suffering from cognitive decline after COVID. What happened? I worried that maybe I'd never be able to play as fluidly as I did when I was younger. Or maybe I just needed to get the right combination of openings. No, what a waste of time. Then I found the dojo. Welcome to the dojo. Now I look forward to working with others to analyze our games. We review one-on-one and in groups to find critical gaps that are preventing us from being as stingy misers of time and material. Hearing other people apply what's being taught to what they're seeing in our games is making a huge difference for me, and I think I can see that it's helping others too. And then whoa, low, gets a fist bump. It also helps that I know I'm getting instruction that is appropriate for my current level. The dojo is telling me exactly what I need to know at the right time, and I'm learning with a group of people who all need to work on the same fundamentals. Word. And I'm seeing the results already. Today I'm graduating because I won my last 12 consecutive games on ChessCom. Finally, something just clicked into place. Thank you for taking the complexity out of chess improvement and helping me jump back into the game and probably eventually stronger than ever. Cool. That's nice. I really want to say that it would be what I really dream about is to have the same kind of progression that you can. There's only a couple areas in life where you can really measure your progress, And just as an example, I do, the CrossFit, which is kind of hard to measure the progress, but there are certain things, let's say some kind of lift, whether it's a bench press or whatever, and there's a routine you can do of 5 sets by 5, and then you increase the weight a little bit every time. And it's very measurable and it's very satisfying. And what's cool about that too is I think, really with weightlifting, I'm a novice. So I would be in the under 1,000 cohort. And then maybe later, I might need something more sophisticated than 5 by 5 or something like that. But the point is, the real point that I want people to get out of the training program is exactly what Jared said here, that there is a sense that you feel it and you get the rating to confirm it, that you are making progress, right? That it's measurable. And it's just like, I put in the time and here's what we got, right? Okay, long speech over. Let's go check out Jared here. Northern Colorado. Okay, nice. Let's follow Jared. First, we're going to check out first ratings. Nice. Tactics. Okay, good. And so soon, actually, a couple days, Jared will have a tactics test for him to get a tactics test as well. Super cool that he did well on the Polgar mate test. Looking good. Okay. So next up, we have clubs. Okay, loads of clubs. Super cool. Denver, yeah. Those are cool. They invited me to Denver Open this year. It's next month, and if I could go, I would really like to go. But I'm getting so much time away for this monster senior tournament in July, like 2 weeks away, that I had to negotiate all my free time. Otherwise, I'd love to go to Denver. Okay, here we got some activity. 66 hours of work. The macros look good. No, look what he said. No openings, buddy. Nothing. All right, let's see if we got a game. We got many. And let's choose the most recent. And this is Panda Rocks. Boom. Oh, yeah, Keith B's working on him, Oh, they're doing good. Round 3 of the Dojo's Under 1,000 Classical Tournament. Very nice. Looks like a 30 plus 30. So far, we're doing good. Then somebody does something weird. Okay, bad move, right? And your move is also a bad move, and let's talk about it. So what you are doing with C3 is showing that you unfortunately learned an opening, okay? Now, this is a very common player with problem with London players, not a common player. A common problem with London players is that they start doing a setup by rote and playing moves that don't make sense. So, for example, A5 doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. And it might make sense to play C5 or C3 after C5. Well, then maybe it makes a little bit of sense. But now it makes 0 sense. So what we want from you is to develop a sense of what good opening moves are. And so, for example, ask yourself, pause if you need to. What are the good opening moves? And it's castles, knight D2, knight C3, and you can consider C4, you can consider queen E2. Notice they are all developing moves. C3 is not a developing move. Okay, knight H5. Okay. Now, you're quite right that knight h5 is a loss of time. And whenever they've lost time, and they've lost really a lot, they've lost a lot of tempos here, you should consider not giving it to them. Okay, so for example, just castling here. Bishop g3, they take a little premature because now they have to worry about the h7 pawn. And yeah, now tactical question. Could you have taken on h7? Kind of looks like, maybe you can. Maybe you can. It would be a little hot. Let's analyze a little bit. Rook h7. Let's just try it this way first. Now the thing that would be worrisome would be g6. And let's say queen c2. Now, if they play knight f8, our bishop lives and is annoying. If they play knight f6, then I think we take here. And then we win the queen. Goodbye, loosey boosey. Now, we could go do a deeper analysis. I'm just getting you to see that that was a free pawn, and we should at least think about taking it. Good developing move. Knight f6. Good move. I love that you are developing. So far, the c3 move is the only legitimate complaint that I have. Okay? c6. And now you talk about rook h7. That's a violent move. Why don't we just play bishop h7, Baus? Why don't we just play bishop h7? Why is it so complicated? Yeah. Okay. Knight e5. Queen c7. Bishop h7. Okay, you did it. You did it. The impulse to take with the bishop is usually correct, but there was something better. I should have taken a lot more time to think about my options. I don't understand why rook takes is so much better. I don't get it. So I think bishop h7 is fine. Bishop d6. And now you play bishop d3. Now, bishop d3 strikes me as probably being a very good move just because it's going to be at least okay. Let's put it this way. And you talk about knight df3. Another very spicy move that we should consider here. I don't know if it works. It probably doesn't work. I mean, it's hot. It's really hot. Would be bishop g6. It's too hot, Kraai. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Okay, look. Let's look at what happened. Bishop d3. Snip, snap. Now, yes, they won a pawn. But, well, that's a bold pawn grab, my friend. That is a bold pawn grab. Maybe they can do this. The big question for me would be about what about rook h8? You in here. Here. Thank you very much. And that's the kind of tactic where these games in the under 1000s are going to be decided. Right? Good move. Okay, knight f3, I get you. In general, though, I want to say at this level, focusing on the simple game plan of I'm going to win something of theirs, I'm going to be a miser, and then I'm going to trade everything down, and I'm going to win. Check to the miserable king. Got to be good. Good move. Okay. And now you played knight c6. It's a difficult situation. The issue with knight c6 is you might get trapped, right? So knight c6, queen d6. So our options are knight f3, knight d3, and also there's this weird move. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's a little too highfalutin, Kraai. It's a little highfalutin. So yeah, just going back would be better. And also here, bishop b5 looks pretty cool, right? But it doesn't actually address some of the questions that were being dealt here. Okay. They make life a little easier for you. That doesn't do anything. You create a threat. Well, bishop e8 is interesting. I thought they needed to play queen d6. No, it's not. How can it be so bad? Ooh, f5. Very spicy. Now, I don't believe it, though, because I don't think the queen can ever approach the bishop. So you play g4, and you say, maybe I can save myself by adding complexity. But look, you just play queen e6. How's this guy going to get on you, right? How are they going to get to you? You're the boss. You're the boss here, man. You're the boss. So now it gets complicated. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Now, this move, queen e4, has to be criticized. Because at this point, black is in full control of the game. Now, maybe queen e4 does do it, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and say that at this point, this guy can't calculate that much. Oh, cry, let it be. Actually, I'm not sure. No, I don't know if I like it. So when you go to this pawn endgame, you have to calculate it out. If he didn't want to calculate it and just play king c7, he could be saying to himself, bows, I'm up 2 pounds. Thank you. Thank you. And who's better and why? You're better. He blew it. Why are you better? Because you have the outside pass pawn. Now, we're going to want extreme caution here in how we do things. And this, by the way, is a great opportunity for you to analyze a little bit. One thing we would like is we want to at least think about driving black away from this pawn. Maybe it's not simple, but the thing I want you to see is we're not in a hurry to play king f3, and we should at least analyze moves like b3. All right, here, very much to be criticized, b4. Good move, I think, looks right. e4, and now this is winning easily because you have this outside passer. Black has to go get it. You're going to go the other way. Good move. g3. g4 was also good. Uh-oh. King e5. King g4 would be the challenging move. Good move. Yeah, well done. And so lots of cool things for you to think about, right? What? Oh, you did. So some of the stuff here, this analysis you did, that's what I want you to do. So you're learning about the king and pawn endgame, right? And you're getting a sense of the free tempi that all your opponents are going to give you, of the basic winning of pieces, which is the heart of progressing to 1,000, right? Okay, good. And I kind of want to take a look at your big analysis here. King d7 looks like a draw if black defends the other side early on. And you say here, here, white is only slightly better. Now, your symbol means that it's an unclear, so you should want to say slightly better here. I don't know about this king c6 thing. You know, you talk about c4. That looks good to me. As long as you win this puppy, as long as you win that puppy, we're going to be in good shape. And we have more tempi to burn. Yeah, we have more tempi to burn. You talk about a4, and then what do you say? b3? Maybe. You could also just play king f4. And on king d6, now see, this is what I'm talking about, time to burn. We don't want his king to come here, right? So let's play g3. And we got time to burn. He does not have time to burn. On e5, we go here, Zugzwang, thank you very much. Goodbye. Okay, great. Beautiful, beautiful times. Okay. Ooh, and I have to remember to mark reviewed. That was the first game, though, so I haven't blown it that bad. Next up, we have Wololo, who was mentioned in Jared's what we call it, the graduation statement. In his valedictorian speech, he was mentioned. The most helpful thing about the program is Discord community of improvers. Great. This is Wololo. Joined just this month. Crushing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Tactics. We want you to do the Polgar mate test, buddy. And these things, we want you to do them. And the new tactics test will hopefully be there in just a couple of days. All right, got clubs. Maryland. Oh, I'm in Maryland, dude. I'm in Maryland. Okay. Activity. 34, 28, looking good. All right, so we'll probably see a game. All right, here we go. Danny Tai is the sparring partner. And we'll take a look at the clock. Oh, I didn't show it. But over here we have 2,700, so 45 plus 30. We should get a flare for people who did all the Vulgar mates. There we go. Yeah. Oh, let's put that in there. We'll say. I'm just writing to the gnomes here. No, Hupskirt says we need a flare for the peeps who did all the Polgar mates. That kind of thing is gold. I want a flare, dude. I've done all the Polgar mates. Okay. So. Oh, this is Jared. Okay. Cool. Don't worry about, everybody has a little journey in learning how to do annotations. You guys, this is against Jared, who we just talked about. Okay. So, one thing that's really cool about seeing dojo players at this level is because they're afraid of me yelling at them, they generally will develop their pieces. Now, this is in a slight inaccuracy, but I'm not saying anything. For this level, it's totally fine. Good. And now you played A4. I think this was not a great move. I think ED5 would have been better because it would have given me a tempo on the queen. Very good. And what you just discovered was this beautiful trick that you will see again and again in your chess career, right? So that's the point. And I'm going to guess you just didn't see that. Fine. Now you'll know. Bishop D7. You could still do ED5. Okay, now this one you should yell at yourself for, though, because ED now is very strong. Black, by the way, is pushing their luck. They're pushing their luck, man, in terms of developing their coconuts. Now, I don't know if I would take that pawn. I just got to be honest there. I don't know. Because taking that pawn means that the black king is just out there. Let's read this. The thought process I had here was that because black's king safety is compromised, opening up the center of the board would be very annoying. That's very true. I considered also pushing my lead by developing both of my rooks, since black's rook on h8 is locked up right now. Okay. Now, Jared doesn't care. He doesn't care. Jared, you should care, buddy. These guys, oh, what are they doing? Your king's all alone. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. And I'm sure white has a number of different moves. Danny chooses the simple one with knight e4. Yeah, we got a couple moves, We got a couple moves here. Good move, rook d8. Pop, pop. Now, the issue that's sad about this whole thing for white is I'd rather not trade off the knight for that bishop. Because when the bishop on f8 gets to move, it gets to develop itself, right? I don't want him to develop itself. So it would be cool to find, if we could, a better way of dealing with this, right? This is undeveloped. When I go here, I let him develop for free. So I think more testing would be bishop d4 when I'm touching all of the coconuts, right? Okay, here we go. By the way, whoa, low, this would be a great opportunity to do some annotations here. One thing that we see when people are beginning their annotation process is they will often make beautiful descriptions, and that's great. But here we need variations, and that's how you can get better at things. Here again, bishop d4, I think, is what you need. Check to the miserable, that's just chucking a pawn. And now, unfortunately, Jared's okay. Check, he's more than okay. Oh no. He's finally bringing out his pieces. Good move. So he missed that. Knight d5 looks like a great move, but he missed bishop d4. So knight takes e3 would be better. Check the miserable king. You tuck yourself away. That doesn't look right. Boom. And then he goes here. He's lost his mind. One thing we'll say as a tactic that would have been helpful for black maybe is to go snip, snap, pop, and then we're going to win this queen. So that would have been helpful. All right, now you got what we call the extra exchange. Rook a4, okay. Knight b6, c4. Oh my gosh, now we're hanging our coconuts. Okay, so as we saw in Jared's game, these games are being decided by people hanging their coconuts. That's what it's being decided by. e5 doesn't look right because it gives you another tempo. You say thank you. Ooh, this is getting frisky. Probably not e4, my friends. Boom. Queen e7. Check to the miserable king. Queen d7. Bang! I mean, he's already in trouble now. And why did this happen, Jared? Because you didn't develop your stuff, dude. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well played. Well played. Oh, very clean. Very clean. Let's go. There you go, buddy. There you go. There. Oh, just let's make it clean. Let's make it real clean. Okay, we're going to stop there. So that was great, Wololo. I think there's a lot to look at. Really cool, too, that you're playing with Jared. Like, you guys are sparring. Maybe you're talking about it afterwards, you know? I don't know what happened in the import, though. Like, you guys, it seems like, I'm guessing you're playing online, but then the times aren't being brought in. Okay, so. All right, here we go, here we go. Did I mark it as reviewed? Yes, I did. Next up, we have Hoodie Mask. Let's see what's going on with Hoodie Mask. So the Doge, 602. Look at that, that's some sine curve or something. Tactics rating, done the Polgar mates. This looks all really good. Okay. Clubs. Adult Improver. Activity. Looking good. Games. Loads. Great. Okay, let's take a look. This was played just a couple days ago. Do we have a time graph? No. What's going on with my time graph? So, usually when we get these games played, get the time graph, played online. So far, so good. Okay, not the end of the world. You're doing fine. No, you're doing fine. Okay, so interesting position. We can debate some of the finer points here. Mistake, right? Because he's not developing. What's the correct move? Castles. Good. Weird. Not developing. Now you played bishop e6. Nota bene. When they do non-developing moves, it's our time to shine. Snip, snap, pop. We won a pawn. Developing your rook. Rook d1. Castles. Here's an interesting point. At this point, it makes no sense to castle. Your king is an active piece in the endgame. Boom, let's bring him up. Okay. And you want a pawn, he gave it to you. He gave it to you. Okay. I should have started pushing pawns and getting my king into the game. My poor rook is unsupported currently. Your rook is doing great. Your rook is doing amazing. That doesn't look right. Now, let's think about time in the endgame. Your rook is more active. Both kings owe time to get to the middle of the board. And here, there's an important move that you miss here. A6 is basically a complete loss of time. So, first of all, in the endgame, what do we want to do? Activate the pieces. So it's either this move or it's this move. Both of them look really good. Notice that this rook move not only hits this pawn, but cuts the white king from coming out of his cage. All right, so bad move, good move. Okay. Okay, bring our king in, right? Let's bring the king in, good. All right, he's playing with his pawns. I don't know if he should be. Good move, lets your rook in. Good move. Now he's going to get frisky. It shouldn't work out. Good move. Well, it's going to get hot. You play king f6. Why aren't we taking those coconuts? All right, so again, here's where analyzing the game will really help. So for example, the basic maneuver I see for you here is snip, snap. He's touching your coconut. You say, oh, you give him this one, but you say, passed pawns are meant to be pushed. And now not only is this guy running, but notice, this rook is now cutting the white king from returning. Winning position. Okay, so let's see how this went down. Now I'm worried. He's starting to take a lot of coconuts here. Now it's hot. Again, this is one to analyze, and it will be about time. White needs, White needs to get his pawn moving pronto. That ain't it. King e4, moving away from your pawns. You want to be with those bad boys. h4 or g5 is what you want. He needs to push the pawn. To give you a sense of how complicated this would be, h3, it's really hot. Now, rook c5, pop, pop, h2, c7, queen, queen, queen. Oh no. So then we say c6, h3, c7. Now, if he does not play h2, we're going to be playing rook c5 with a full gain of tempo. So h2 happens. Oh, we go there. Bam. Oh, he protects. And we go, bam. Oh, you can't take my rook, baby. I'll play c8. That's the kind of analysis we want you to do. That's how you learn. Okay. So. Ooh. Oh, no. Check to the miserable king. There we go. So, my friends, and ends in a draw. I had no idea how to win a rook-king versus rook-king game. I figured that my opponent had the time advantage. I don't know what happened to the clocks, by the way. It's kind of weird. So, hoodie mask. That rook endgame, once you study this kind of thing, you see all the mistakes they're making. You will get a sense of the endgame principles. I think I hopefully helped a little bit. And then with your own annotations, you'll start seeing things like this. We're going to have our endgame test out soon too. And a lot of basic problems like this are in that endgame test for the under 1,000 crew. Azara T, hello. Okay, so did I get it? I did it. All right, boom. That was Hoodie Mask. Next up is Jags. Jags says, I just started playing properly a few months ago after largely doing tactics puzzles for over a year. Some of it was that I was searching for a plan to get better, but couldn't find anything that I connected with. I finally decided to just start playing, and so for a month or so before I learned about the dojo during candidates, which was in my city of Toronto, the dojo is what I needed to get me going. Nice, thank you. Then after joining, I immediately had a rating slide. That was our fault. I stuck with the process, got through the material, and built my rating back up, mostly following fundamentals. Also, shout out to the Under 1000 review stream, as your insights on my 2 games reviewed on there have been very helpful for me. Good. Great job. All right. And maybe I was reviewing games that he played against somebody else. That often happens. Hi, Abdul. So we're going to follow Jags here in Toronto. 2 young girls. Nice. I got 2 kids too. Actively distance run. I used to do that, but then my ankle broke. Volleyball, I could have my ankle. Done. Can't do that no more. That sounds good. All right, first we're going to go down to the ratings. Has done the Polgar mate test. Did it well. Did it well, my friends. Nice. He needs a badge. He needs a badge. In general, we need badges, my friends. That's what we need. Okay. So, clubs. Very nice. Toronto. We got 13 people there. Really cool. And I just want to stress, like, knowing the people, connecting with them, doing the sparring in real life, fantastic. In fact, let's just do a little meandering here for a second. So there's Jags, and for example, Rob H, I don't know, maybe they know each other, maybe they don't, but they're right in the same rating range, and so they could hang out, going mental, they can hang out with that guy too, all in the similar kind of category. And I'm an introvert. I don't want to approach people, but, I'm encouraging you to do it. I'm encouraging you. Maybe you meet at a club or something like that, and it's not only just about the sparring. It's just kind of cool. All right. So, activity, it's looking strong. Perfect. And then we got games. Looking good. Danny Tai. I got to pick Danny Tai because we just had Danny Tai on the show. Right? It was Danny Tai that we had. Now, do we got clocks? We do. Both sides move too fast. We can see it already. Right? We can see already that both sides moved like maniacs. We're going to mark as reviewed because Boomer GM always forgets. Okay. Anybody makes comments? Not yet. All right. So, this is Whoa Lo Lo Lo. Now, it's interesting. At first, we had somebody that talked about Whoa Lo Lo, gave him a shout out. And then we saw Whoa Lo Lo's game against that same person. Now we're seeing Jags' game against Whoa Lo Lo Lo. Okay. I'm sure I'm saying Whoa Lo 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 wrong. Maybe a couple too lows. I don't know. So here we go. Doing fine. We're just playing principal chess here. And then incorrect. Perhaps early to play a3. Definitely. So notice that you are playing a move because you are terrorized by bishop b4 before. And this is how a lot of people end up making bad opening moves, right? They have a fear, and it's not like the move is completely random, but it's fear-driven. So they lost a key tempo. And then black's going to just develop their pieces and say, oh, thank you very much for the time. So there's a couple simplistic ways you could deal with this. Bishop e3, followed by bishop b4, bishop d3, or if you just want to keep it real simple, take this bad boy and then maybe push this pawn. There you go. Or keep developing. You're doing fine. Doing fine. Okay, so a3, loss of time. d5, good move. Bishop b5, bishop d7, e takes, knight takes, knight takes, and then black gets frisky with knight takes. Bishop d7, queen d7, queen d4. Okay, good. So, e d5. And now you play bishop e3. Definitely, we want you to castle here, okay? And I agree with you. The reason they should take with the queen, by the way, is because they are down in development. How did it go so wrong for black? I guess it was the knight d4 move, right? Because they're down in development, and you're looking at that g7 pawn, castles now creates a really nasty threat of playing rook e1. And in general, when we win time, we want to keep developing with a threat. Now, Jags, I'm going to tell you the most important feature of improving. And this goes to Danny Tai too. Very much to Danny Tai. You guys are moving like maniacs. Okay? Look at that. Look how fast you guys are moving. Look at this over here. Where I moved 12. Where I moved 12. You guys barely start to think yet. That was some of the complicated things I've ever seen. I've talked more about this game than you guys thought about it. I don't know what you're saying, Abdul. I have no idea. So bishop e3, good and it develops, but you just blocked your rook. f6, sad. b6, kind of sad. They really needed to bring that bishop out. This has got to be a good move, rook he1. Got to be a good move. I like it a lot. Could you have also won a pawn? Yes, you could have. But this puts more pressure. Now, here's the question. Could you have done something more incredible than queen takes d5? Interesting question. I'm not sure. One thing is for sure is that moving the bishop now for white, I'm just going to say you did the safe thing and I approve. Okay? I approve. If I have a feeling if I looked at it longer, I could maybe find something tricky. But for where we are right here in the under 1,000 cohort, this is great. Let's win a pawn. Castles, poor move. Because now the king is away, just like we talked about. In the endgame, the king wants to be closer. You found bishop takes b6. Very good. Very good. Now, my sense is you're still going to be able to win that. You do the same trick after rook d7. Because the rook on d7 is very strong. Rook fe8, and now, well, take it, right? Bang! Let's take that thing. Play bishop d4. King f8. Okay. With the king moved alongside, I must now wait. Time to move my pawn army forward. Time out. Time out. Let's think about this a second. You're doing great over here with the rook, right? Doing great. You have an extra pawn over here, right? So at this point, you need to start thinking about how to improve the position, right? So moves that come to mind would be a4, trying to maybe bust this guy open, right? c4 comes to mind with the hope of maybe playing king c2 and up, activating the king. This is a weird move, but it also comes to mind just to get the king in a nicer spot, right? h4 is very abstract. I don't know what it does. And you played a monster move here. Exclam. Exclam. Jags. Bows. What a move. That's a power move, buddy. Dang. Now that's, I mean, you find that, you're going to be above 1,000 and just no problem at all. Yeah. Wolololos is in the chat. That's cool. And Rook E7. Dang. Dang, son. That's an evil move. Now I can tell you, that isn't, this symbol here means clear advantage. This is over. This is winning advantage. Good move. Okay. Good move. Now, Wolololo, we could consider playing on here. At this level, you know, something might, you might get a present. You might get a present. Okay. So it was a good game. It was a good game. And I think there's very few moves, actually. You know, this is honestly the kind of move that you see a lot of players even below 1,400, 1,600 making. So this is not the class of mistake that I'm worried about for you right now. What did we have? We had this position, right? Yeah, it was rough. And then this, then you won the, he gave you this position. And Castles, okay, Castles was better. But again, like the thing that is going to hurt you or get you to the next level is the basic tactics, right? And this is just a positional thing that we got going on. So that was great. And this, I really want to stress the Rook E7. If, for example, we're doing all these tactics tests now, and I would definitely not put this as a puzzle for the under 1,000, right? This would definitely be a puzzle for the 1,000 to 1,500 crew. This is a great shot, boom. And of course, with puzzles, it's easier because you know that they're there. And Jags found it, boom, less than a minute, boom. He knows about this one. Okay, so, cool, Dave Jackson's in the chat too. All right, so you guys, look, moral of the story. Take a little bit more time, you guys, come on. All right, here we go. Next up, we got B. Trammell. Was in the 1011 in the 1.0 version, but then life got in the way for a while. Rejoined with 2.0. Was not very pleased with my play, so figured I needed more work on the fundamentals, and so demoted myself several cohorts, trying to work my way up now. Okay, you guys, let's just look at the person's rating, with Trammell's rating. No, you're in the wrong cohort. You are in the wrong cohort, my friend. You know, you start playing people in the sparring them in 700, 800, it's going to be like little bunny foo-foo bopping up the field mites, popping them on the head. No, that's not what we want from you, man. It's not. Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, you're in the wrong cohort, man. You're in the wrong cohort, but I am going to follow you. Oseo says, this was a tough cohort. Think I slowly got better as I spent more time doing sweat work. You guys think, by the way, I lived in Germany for a long time. Okay, and you put the words, smash them together, and it feels more macho to put them together. Don't you think sweat work should be one word? A lot of English speakers get, I grew up speaking English and yada yada, but I like sweat work. It's one word. Okay. Spent more time doing sweat work. Coming to the end of everyone's first chess workbook, and that is getting harder as well. Doing the Maiden 2 pole guards as well. Thanks to the dojo for great work with 3.0. All right, beautiful. Let's see. So up to 720. Look at that rating graph. 39 in Denmark. Beautiful. Started playing chess October 23. I gotta say, it's so cool with the dojo in terms of the under 1,000 cohort. Is that we just have a lot of people who did start playing recently, and they're just on this improvement train. And it's going well. Schwerarbeit. That's right. So, here we go. Polgar, we need you to do a Polgar mate test. I have a feeling you're stronger than these Puzzle Rush scores indicate. All right, clubs. Danish Dojo. Nice. Okay. Then we got activity. Very strong. Very strong work, actually, but what we need to do is go back one. And that's looking good. So that's what they did to get out of 6 to 7 to go into 7 to 8. Let's call it 50 hours of work. Okay. Boom. All right. So it looks like they're playing the randos on League Chess. We encourage you to do it on the Dojo League just so you can, well, at higher rating levels, you're going to face cheaters. It's okay. It's okay. Right? Just leave them alone. You can do a post-mortem and stuff afterwards, though, if you have somebody in the dojo. You saw it with Wololo and Jags. I'm sure they talked about it afterwards. Okay, not Wololo, OCO. You didn't spend enough time. We're just going to, unless you were winning flat out by here, we're going to criticize this time graph a little bit. Okay, here we go. Bizarre. This is what I like to call a negative tempo. Okay, Queen E7, because at the moment, the bishop is free on F8, can move out. But once Queen E7 is played, well, now Black owes you another pawn move to get the bishop out. Good, weird. Good, fine, good. And this move is actually okay. His position's so bad, Black's position's so bad, that they got to worry about knight d5. Okay, good move. I like it. When you're ahead in time, open the position up. b5. It's looking a little bit like Morphy versus the Duke over here. Bishop b3, a little random. Knight a4. And now I wouldn't know how to play this, okay? Knight a4 is the most aggressive, but we got to say that we're a little worried that the knight is going to be caught offsides over there. Good move. f6. They just don't believe in development. Now, as we say on this show all the time, and the under 1,000 cohorts, you are going to be facing a lot of players like this. So learning how to crush them when they give you time is what the game is really about. Notice, you didn't need to learn any openings there's no amount of learning openings would have helped you to deal with this thing. But you are learning fundamentally how to do openings because now you want to say to yourself, okay, when I play these guys, Kraai says I'm going to be up in time, and then when I'm up in time, that's when, first of all, the tactical chances are going to happen. When I'm up in time, I want to gain more time, and I want to open the position. That's why I think c3 is a fine move. You're trying to open the position. Poor move. Not developing, giving you a pawn. You say thank you very much. Not helpful. Now that bishop is looking at the king. Oh, God. Just the pain. The pain. It hurts so much. Okay, you play queen b3. It's a good developing move. You can think also about d5 or b5, trying to activate this guy onto the king. I don't know. Queen c4. Okay, if you were going to touch the c6 pawn, queen c2 on the move before would have been faster. Nice move. Boom. a6, no one understands. Rook ac1, nice move. Pin, this is called pin and win. Ooh, I didn't like that. It's maybe okay. His position's that bad. I just wanted you to take this thing. That isn't it. Good move. b6, please. Ooh. Trying to move the knight over to the action side since I didn't feel it was doing much on the f3 square. Now, it's true that that's the action side, but look at this action. Oh, buddy. Unleash the Kraken. Unleash the Kraken bows. Ooh, I'm just going to go see if David's game is going. I don't think it is. Ooh, it is going. Time out, you guys. So when we're done with the show, I'm going to go to this game. And David is again playing a King's Indian. And I'll just say from the looks, and he's playing against like a 2100. From the looks of it, it looks, we'll call it interesting. Benoni structure. We'll get back to that later. Okay, so knight d2. Just handing you all his coconuts. Thank you. d6, please. Oh, no. Now, by the way, you were doing a good job thinking about fixing the knight. But look at this bad boy. Oh, oh. I like that move. Oh, I like that move. Now you're starting to hurt him. Now you're starting him. There we go. That's a queen. Check. Give me a break. Okay, so the biggest thing, OCO, for you to improve on is time. You are moving too fast. For lower rated players and for super GMs, the reason people are often playing too fast is because of anxiety. You got to mellow it out. Take a breath. I know it's hard to learn. And you can see it in your cohort, the people around you here. A lot of people are having the same problem you are. Okay, so anonymize to protect the guilty. All right, good. Let's move on. Next up, we have But Chess Sucks, who's graduating all the time. So, But Chess Sucks says, woohoo! As Jesse says, I seem to graduate every week, and I am on a pretty strong win streak after my rating became unprovisional on Lead Chess. I guess I have a lot of time right now, so I'm trying to get in one serious game plus analysis in each day and continue work on the Polgar mates. I grind Puzzle Rush on my phone in spare moments too. I wonder if I was a bit underrated by the provisional thing, since I was just very slow in some of the games I lost, but also several early resigns and too fast players. Excited to see the under 1000 Swiss set up by Chi-Young for our cohort this weekend. It will probably sign up for either ChessDojo Classical or Lone Wolf for more serious games. Great! And I can't tell you enough, like, playing against other dojoers, there's a sanctity about the game that you're not going to get just by playing the randos. You get maybe a post-mortem. You know, they might annotate the game, as we've seen, and then you can see the game through their eyes. You know, all kinds of ways in which the game is elevated beyond just playing a random person online. All right, so here we go. All right, the Anya Taylor inspired 802, looking good. All right, we need you to do the Polgar mate test. Yep. And you've clearly gone for it with the Puzzle Rush, which is okay. Good. No, David, somebody just made a move over there. It's my little click that I get to hear. So, clubs, adult, boom, activity. We want to do the most recent one. So 7 to 8. 2 hours. Only 2 hours. This person's flying. They're flying. Games. Oh, Chi-Young. Well, we got to do Chi-Young because we know that Chi-Young is also in the program. And this was played like yesterday, dude. No. It was published yesterday. Chi-Young's got some comments here too. Round 1 of the Dojo Under 1000. Nice. Organizer. Chi-Young. All right. So here we go. Oh, time. Well, okay. And we're getting some people who are using their time. And we'll flip it just to see it from But Chess Sucks side. Okay, you're doing fine. Doing fine. A little weird. And now Bishop G4. Probably incorrect, though, because now they can take a pawn. So, something like Knight C6 looks like it makes sense to me. Okay. Okay. E5. Oh my God, it's getting hot. Okay. It's hot. Now, let's just say this is a very interesting position. White is down in time. They're going to lose more time with the later rook b8. And they have stolen a pawn. Okay, so here we go. E5. I kind of like it. This is honestly so wild, it's hard for me to just instantly tell you what's going on. But in principle, I want to open the position when my opponent is down in time. Good. A castle. It's getting hot in here. F takes, and now knight g4. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to take earlier, to play rook b8 earlier, maybe even in this position, is that the guy can't come back. You know. But okay, let's look at what happens. Queen f3. And I think you're right with h5. It's getting hot. Rook e1. I didn't understand this move that eventually sets up the game-winning sequence for white. Okay. All right, so here. And you played c5. Good. I mean, in principle, that's what you want. You want to tickle that pawn open. Rook e1 is, of course, weird. They should be bringing out their knight. Okay? Whew. I'm okay with c5. Knight h3, finally happening. Takes. Okay. Let's just say the reason it's a little controversial to take the pawn is because you were going to free this rook. Right? So maybe to my first glance, rook b8 is what we want. Start tickling here. We're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. Took the pawn. It's hot. You guys had a nice game. That makes me nervous. If I was going to move a knight, I would bring this bad boy in. Now you take this thing. Queen takes. And now you play queen b6. Dang, these people are playing some good chess, son. Again, this is, I would say, a level of tactic that normally we don't see in the under 1,000 crew. And yeah, now we're in grief. Now, f takes g6. It's got to be losing. So rook e8. I don't know if it's going to save you to play rook e8, but we should at least analyze it. Yeah. It's hot. Okay. fg6. And now bishop g7. And I think this is crispy critters. The easy way for white to play would be rook e7. This seems to force queen d4. And then we'll just take this coconut. And we're doing fantastic. Okay. King h8, blunder. Bang. GG. There it is. Okay. So, rough game. I mean, that was an intense game. That was a very intense game. Yeah. That was definitely, by both sides, an over 1,000 level rated game. So Dojo's doing good, man. The Dojo's doing great. Okay. Jeez, man, these people are playing pretty good chess. Next up, we have Amy Liz. As many people might not have been with me from the start of the show, but this show, for the under 1,000, we're bottom heavy today. A lot of more people are in this graduation than the over 1,000, which will be tomorrow. Okay, so next up is Amy Liz. Boom. I'd let you watch, I would invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you. Points if you know where that's from. Okay, Amy Liz has graduated a number of times. 866. We want her to do the Polgar mates, and then in a couple days she'll have a tactics test to do. Clubs. Oh, there we go. Activity. And we're going to back it up one. Ooh, this is weird. It looks like she jumped from the 5 to 6 all the way to the 8 to 9. Is that true? Is that what happened? I guess so. Elite chess ratings confuse me. Okay, so. Boop. Oh, give me this one. Boop. 59 points of work got her to this amazing jump. Okay, games. We got a bunch. Let's see if I recognize any of these names. All right, so let's click this one. Boop. And then we got some comments. All right, I played as black. Let's flip the board. Let's see those time usage. Somehow the time usage, I don't know, it's not getting copied over. Okay. Weird, right? So your opponents will do weird things. Why? The G3 is weird for like 1,000 reasons, okay? But let's talk about the one that has to do with principles. The bishop is already out. It can move out, okay? G3 is not necessary. That bishop's already out. If you wanted to move him out that way, play G3 on the first move. Knight f6. I thought about taking the pawn, but decided to continue development. Okay. Now, one thing you might want to consider here is just that there's something psychological going on. Like you're like thinking that they got some trick on you or something. And the good news is, after a while, you're like, wait a second, that pawn is just hanging. Thank you very much, much. And pawns are always cool to grab, especially if they're for free like this one. Well, let's say it costs you a tempo to do it. But the center pawn is especially nice because what you might be able to feel from here on out is how solid you're going to be. Okay, I would have liked knight f6 a little more, but I think it's okay. Weird, good move. To have a completed pyramid, yeah. And what we most want is for you just to go boop and boop. Now, one reason that the knight here would be more pleasant is bishop b2 would make it hard for us to move our own bishop. Weird. I wanted to get out of the way of my dark square bishop, but this blunders the knight. Now, it doesn't blunder it. It just trades it. So the way to be critical of this move is to say, this is not a developing move. This is, and this is also a developing move. Okay, giving you more time. You got to say thank you. I want you to bring the bishop out so we can castle. Weird. No one knows why. Good move. D4, again, not developing. Okay, fine. They're just doing nonsense. Take that bishop. Knight e7. I was thinking now that I should be moving my forces kingside to prepare an attack. In hindsight, I should have played bishop f4 and traded off his active bishop, though I was secretly hoping he'd capture instead so I could take back with my queen and get her on a better space. Lesson learned. Don't wait for your opponent to play the move you want them to. Okay. Also, damaging the pawns is cool because then the king will later have grief. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, Liz. This would also be great to see the times. Yeah. Because here you have a beautiful position. Look, bop, bop. You're doing great. You know, step number 1, let's put a big fat rook on this pawn. Make him think about knight d4. Later on, we'll talk to this bad boy. You know, we're going to get it going. We're going to get it going. Okay, a5. It's looking bad. Oh, and here, this is good practice. So you're going to lose another piece here. And the way, in terms of practice, we would want you to find this move, F5, magically holding on to the knight. Whenever you feel like you're losing a piece, that's the time to invest some time and really try to think if you are actually losing it, right? So here, and then we'd recapture. Now we're losing our coconuts. Bishop e5, knight takes e5 looks even stronger, right? Because it's a full pin and win situation with the taco and the taco. That's weird. Why don't we just take with a pawn now? Oh, you didn't see it. We got a break. Boom. Now, one of the things, Liz, I want you to see is this kind of blundering is more typical of what we normally see in the under 1,000. So first of all, don't feel bad about it. But also the players from that we just looked at, notice like there was some high-level games being played in the under 1,000, right? And those players should be like, oh, right. All right, as long as I don't make these blunders, I'm going to be going over 1,000. No one understands rook fb1, gives you another free pawn. Great. Knight g5, getting a little frisky, and now you miss it and play queen g4. Yeah, queen h7. Poor, thank you. Good, I like that a lot. Now you're close to winning. That isn't it. And then you play queen f5. Queen e3 looks much stronger. Okay. You got rook g6 right here, winning all of the coconuts. Okay, good move on their part. Now you're in a spot, right? Because we're down a piece, and the rook is going to start taking our coconuts. So it's no longer easy. I think you're objectively in big trouble here now. That wasn't it. Thank you very much. Now you're winning. Now you're winning. Okay. Oh, and now you definitely want to trade everything off. Okay, as a general rule of thumb, if you can trade everything off, you're going to win the pawn endgame. And excuse me, let me rephrase that. If you are up a pawn or more in this case, if you can trade everything off, you are in general winning. So pop, 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 pop. That's all. And then you say to yourself, right, my king comes over here, wins these pawns, whilst white has to worry over the rush of these guys. You will see that pattern again. They're just blundering. They're just giving you all their stuff. Mate! Studying endgame patterns pays off. Checkmate! Okay, good. Good. All right, let's take a quick look at David's game. They've been tanking on the last couple moves. That's good. Well, we're going to get to this game when it gets a little hot. David looks, I'm just going to say it looks dynamically equal. Just my first blush impression. And we got a6 on the board. Okay. Yeah. David's the higher rated player. It's got a fine opening with black. We're looking forward to looking at that. All right. Chris has a hammer. Thanks a lot for putting together such a solid plan for us to follow in a positive, crazy helpful community. All right. Let's look. Cursing and blundering pieces here in Florida. 806, very nice. Tactics rating, very good, 795, kind of consonant with where you are. Tactics test will be available in a couple days. Good. Now we got some clubs. No stress, activity. And they did 59 hours of work. Macro distribution looks good. Chris has a hammer. Just see if we recognize any of these people. Boom. Market. Reasonable time spent. You did it better than your opponent, who basically, it's typical. My hope is that we have a lot more games like this when we play against non-dojo people, right? That they just don't think we use our time and we have therefore a competitive edge. We don't always win, but we have a nice competitive edge. Fine, you're doing great. Okay. H5. Let's read. They form a queen-bishop battery to try fishing out my bishop. So I play h5, allowing the rook to help cover h6 for the time being. Okay, let's pause for a second. First of all, it's important to see that them playing bishop h6 costs them a tempo to do. It is not the end of the world, therefore, if they play bishop h6. h5, on the other hand, loses a tempo. So your fear of bishop h6 is creating a bigger problem than it's solving. If you are terrified, though, you do have an option, and you could just play h6 now, and then ask the bishop to declare its intention. Rook b8, a little weird. We want you to castle. But you're afraid because of bishop h6, right? So that fear is making you do weird things. Weird. Rook b1, rook ae1 or something like that was called for. Again, not developing your stuff. Knight d5, getting a little frisky. It's a little worrisome. Bishop f4. I think knight takes e5 would already start, putting some good pressure on you here. Okay, good. Okay. Knight e6 looks better. c4, not appreciating that your knight just goes back. And what's so nice now is I hope well, you can just take it. Okay. And now it's like they decided, since you didn't take it last turn, you're not going to take it this turn. And then you're like, okay, now I will. Well done. Well done. Now let's just trade it off. Just trade it off. Trade it off. Trade it off. Very nice. Very nice. Very simple and strong. Oh, very good technique. Bishop a6. Okay, that was really good. And if we were giving white some feedback, it would be like, boss, you blundered some stuff in there and made some superficial moves that could have been improved if you had thought a little longer about it, right? Okay, great. Let's keep moving. Now we have Jorge. We got 1, 2, 3, oh my God, 4, oh my God, 5. 5 more to go. We're here for a while, boss. I better pour my coffee. All right, here we go. Chris's hammer is here. Nice. Oh, look at this. We got Chi-Yung over here, who we just talked about. Jorge is up, and Jorge says, finally finished the program meeting once, started on the 2s. They're much slower to get through, yes, but I'm enjoying them a lot. I've also noticed that I'm caring a lot more about my rating. This is good in the sense that it makes me take every game seriously. But it's also bad and it's dissuading me from playing as many games, especially if I don't feel in top form. If we want to get philosophical, we could say that's not having a growth mindset, right? You are going to lose some games. I got a 10-year-old bro. He was graduating once every week. He hit a little bit of a wall, and now he's just afraid to play. You're not going to grow at anything in life when you're afraid to play. All right, here we go. Jorge. Boom. So, 8-10, it's looking really good. We want you to do those Polgar mate tests. That's a great result for your puzzle rush. Clubs. SF Bay Area. It's in some ways, the spiritual home of the dojo. All right, so We're going to go 700, 800. Mostly games. That's fine. Games. Oh, he's playing Snape over here. Let's see what happened with Snape, Professor Snape. Here's our times. Again, both players moving too fast. The non-dojoer playing much quicker. Good. Fine. Good. Fine. Kind of weird, obviously. F6. Now, F6 is a frisky move, and we gotta be a little careful about it. But the reason to believe maybe that we could do it is just because you are ahead in development. A more prudent plan would be C5 followed by knight e7, C6. Oh my God, they just don't care. Now you're up a pawn. You say thank you. Again, not a developing move. Good move. Knight d3 check. Okay. This is a cool looking move, but I want to stress this is not going anywhere. Like if he moves the knight, then we're going to check here. So it's a real bummer. So knight e7 I like better. Developing, holding the pawn. See, now you spend a tempo that way. Don't you want to play knight e7? This way you develop and defend at the same time. Okay, you're still doing great. Castle, please. Oh, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Bishop b6, losing time. Bishop takes e3 for sure. Good. Let's castle, please. Okay. I'm worried though, see, because then this rook e1 stuff's starting to touch me. Castles. You're doing great, by the way. You're just killing it. Queen b1. Okay. There, it's not going to help. Boom. A little frisky. Knight e3, it makes a lot more sense, right? Bam. This is what happens when they don't think. You know, hey, Snape. Hey, Snape. Buddy, you slow down. Slow down. And, you know, when you're playing the Snapes of the world, just say to yourself, sometimes intimidating when people move so fast, of course, right? Just say to yourself, Kraai says this person's a fool. They don't know. Feels like they know sometimes when they're moving so fast. They don't. They don't. This person hasn't even figured out the rules of development yet. And that's what we do. We spank them. Right? We spank them. Well done. That's David's little click going on over there. Let's go give it a look. H3, not the most convincing move, but now David has to calculate F4. All right, here we go. Next up is Chi-Yung, who has put together the under 1,000 dojo. Graduating because my Lee Chess classical rating finally stabilized and is no longer provisional. I have established this higher rating from playing other dojo folks in the recent under 1,000 I organized for us. Thank you for doing that. I plan to continue to use Lee Chess Classical as my barometer and to join the 45 Classical League and the Open Dojo Classical League. This will be done concurrently with my upcoming OTB tournament. This will be my third week in the dojo and my third week of my return to chess after a few years. Beautiful. Okay. Follow. Philly-based fiction writer and former powerlifter with 3 cats in my early 30s, off and on player since high school, but 2024 is the year I've committed to playing tournaments. Beautiful. Okay. I would love to hear the story of the powerlifting. Yeah. Don't even go off on it, Kraai. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I have thoughts about, how you can use powerlifting and improvement in powerlifting as not just a metaphor for chess improvement, but kind of like maybe a scaffolding, because like that feeling of improvement you can get with lifting something heavy and how understandable and measurable it is really fascinating to. It'll never be as simple with chess, but I want there to be a feeling, that feeling of like, I went to the dojo, I did this stuff, and here's the measurable improvement that I now have. We see that a lot in the graduations, but I'm trying to say, like, I want there to be all kinds of positive feedback. Like even that we were talking about earlier, the badge for having done all the Polgar mates, something like that, you know. Things like that which reinforce the things that will make you stronger. Okay. Jorge is in the chat. Beautiful. Okay, so let's look. We want this person to do the Polgar mates. That's the powerlifting of chess right there, my friends. Clubs. Let's go Philly. 7 members. There's the Mainline Chess Club. Beautiful. I want to go visit Mainline Chess Club someday. Now we got activity, and the person's graduated a couple times. Looks like this was a massive graduation. Looks like it went really up. So this is what they did to get here. Great. Okay. Games. And there it is, but chess sucks. We're definitely doing that one. Boom. So we're going to mark this as reviewed. These are the times. Well done with the times. Was this the same game or is it a different game? Yeah, it's the same game. I do not mind going over the same game. I think this is really interesting. So, although I win a free pawn, I don't love moving the same piece twice in the opening. Wondering if knight f3 was a natural and better move. Very good. Very good. In the movie Searching for Bobby Fischer, you know, the hustler's like, bring out the queen early, Josh. Bring it out early. You know, no, we don't want to bring it out early. Why? Because when it gets spanked, you lose time. And that's what we want in the opening. Now, bishop g4 isn't the only move. I was talking in that earlier review that I like knight c6 even better. I think the queen can get hit later. All right, so you snip. h3. This fascinating move here. Boom. 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 Upon review, I think this is a mistake. g5 would have cut off the black bishop from h6 and apply pressure to the knight on f6. So g5. Very frisky move, though, because black has a lot of different options. Very frisky. It's interesting. It's interesting. But let's say I go knight h5. Blocks the rook, but is dim on the rim. I'm kind of hoping, though, to get to one of those squares. See, I want to get to one of those squares. So, like, if you castle, I'll go pap and then land there at some point. Also, this pawn is hanging. Yeah. Now, let's just say you're in trouble here, especially on a practical level. You're in trouble because black is up so much in development. So, reasonable move. Reasonable move. Good that you brought the queen back. I like that one. And rook e1, I want you to move the knight out. Knight h5, knight e2, excuse me. One of those moves. Bring the coconuts out. c5. Finally getting out. Okay. They take. Maybe a little too frisky. I liked queen b6 or rook b8. I like rook b8 first. Good move. A mistake. I didn't want to lose my light square bishop. Why is it a mistake? What do you want to do, though? You need to bring your guy in. You got to bring him in. Good. Notice, this is kind of a good defender, and we noted that that was the move that black needed to do. Okay, yeah. Okay, good note. And then boom, you should be super proud of that one here. My heart was pounding here. I am threatening the rook. So I calculated checkmate in 2 if they took. You guys, this is so cool to see it from both players' perspective. And again, I really want to commend the time usage. So much better than the average under 1,000 player over here. Do you need some time to calculate moves like knight g6? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now, I like knight g6. Now, I think rook fe8 is a thought. It's going to get really hot. Your move, knight e7, that's a pretty good-looking move, actually. Look at this, king f8, queen h7. Good move. Good move. Well, that's very powerful. I'm not even sure it's over yet. It's that complicated, though, because we can take this guy. See, and our bishop is saving our soul over here. I don't know. This is really complicated. Rook takes, king takes. Check to the miserable king. Yeah, so this is a beautiful position. I want to stress, no GM can just immediately tell you exactly what's going on. This thing is hot. There's rook e8. Rook b8 might be interesting. Rook b8, your knight e7 move might work again, though. Here, we go to this. Check to the miserable king. Look at that. We'll pick it up. So this is a fantastically interesting position. I think knight g6 is good, man. Really nice move. Shattering the black position. And from black's perspective, you know, a lot of it has to do with moving the knight from g4 away from the defense of the king. The lady is away from the defense of the king. This is a higher level tactic that you guys, higher level game that you guys put together. Okay? Yeah, this one was great. So well done. That was really well done. All right, good. We're gonna move on to Lost in Ekamai. Don't Google it, Kraai. You don't want to do it. You never know what you're gonna find. So Lost in Ekamai is flying up there. Probably we're getting ready to graduate again. Did the Polgar mate? Hasn't done this stuff yet. Okay, clubs. Louisiana, Sicilian sparring. Okay, we're gonna quick check on David. H3 happened. B6, not the most inspiring move. I don't like it. Did it really happen? B6. He wants to play rook a7 to e7. A4, I don't know. Now, I don't know why White isn't playing f4. No idea. That was the whole point of h3. You're supposed to play h4. Now David could conceivably play this rook ae7, which was the bee in his bonnet, as they want to say. Well, White might still be better. We're going to take a look at it in a little bit. Okay, this is Lost in Ekamai. We got a game here against Submarine Mike. So, he's talking about openings. Not time for openings yet, my friend. What it is time for, though, is for you to move slower. Okay, so if you could exchange your opening study for moving slower, that would be the ticket. Okay. Now, one of the bad things about you learning this opening is it has encouraged you to break opening principles and not develop your king side. A3. A little weird. Queen d2. E5, just hanging the pawn. Thank you very much. Now you're doing great. Castle's doing great. Okay, that wasn't it. Queen f3, thank you very much. Bam! Now, the worst thing about that game is that you're going to be encouraged to think it was the opening that did it for you. No. It's your opponent gave you time and the pawn for free. I know you don't believe me. Okay. But in terms of quality of game, I'm not saying anything. That was a very high quality game. Very high quality. Yeah. Okay. So well done. Well done, Submarine Mike. Mark that as reviewed. Boom. That was Submarine Mike. Lost in Ekamai. Okay. You got me. I'm going to do it. Ekamai is a Thai restaurant in Los Angeles. It probably has a different... Okay, it's a district in Ekamai Road in Thailand. Okay. It probably means something. Okay, now I'm just going down a rabbit hole. Kraai, come back to earth. Come back to earth, my friend. General Blorp asks, is this a FIDE approximation based on his rapid or classical online ELO? Yes. So imagine it. We have all of these different FIDE ratings, Lichess, Chesscom, USCF, FIDE, German rating, English rating, you name it, right? So we need to form a universal rating system. And FIDE now doesn't even go below 1400, but we extended it down so that we could have one rating system to rule them all. Okay, next up is Penro. Penro might be in the chat. Penro, give a shout if you're there. Oh, and Submarine Mike was there to hear my bitter complaints about him moving too fast. So we have 2 more to go, and then we'll look at David. Huge thank you to my coach, Nose. It has been fantastic to learn from him every few weeks. I wanted to switch my dojo rating to Lichess Classical as I like the longer time control games, and Chess.com does not offer Classical. So we put together a plan for me to play in the Dojo Open Classical under 1800. That's under 1800 Lichess, by the way, because those people are really inflated over there. That would give me 7 long time control games against very good opponents from the dojo. Then I would have some great games to analyze and learn from. Great plan. I fully expected to lose all 7 games, but I ended up winning 2. So I spent between 4 to 8 hours per game analyzing. There you go. And looking at alternate lines. This work has propelled my play forward amazingly fast. Welcome to the dojo. Now my rating is not provisional, so I am graduating to 9 to 100,000 based on the recommendation of my coach. Cool that you're calling Nose your coach. Also, a huge shout out to the weekly under 1,000 sessions, as those helped me a ton. Coolmaster X, M. Norris, Aqua Fresh, Sleepy, and all the others have helped me immensely by reviewing some of my games and offering feedback. Great! By the way, I just give a shout out. We have so many projects at the dojo of improving the website, but definitely one at the top is to create a way for me and everyone else to see like who is helping the players below, who are the pluses who are giving help to the minuses, and finding a way to reward them. So it's great that these people are doing it, but when I do the graduation show, I'm noticing it's like, oh, these are the ones that are consistently mentioned. They are doing more work than others, and we want other people to be brought in, encourage them to bring them in to do this, be part of this amazing ecosystem that we have. And Penro, of course, is now in a position to help those below him, right? Okay, so here we go. Penro, boom. Older beginner. There, that's me too, buddy. Look at all those graduations. So 1060. Oh, you're ready to go again, buddy. You're ready to go again. Tactics rating. Okay, looks good. And we're going to guess that these are probably neglected and that's probably a truer state. We're going to have the new tactics test for the under 1,000 crew available a couple days. All right, clubs. Never too late. Game of Kings after age 50. Hold on. Request to join club. I'm old. I need to join that club, my friend. I have to join that one. All right. So hold on. You just got rid of that field. All right. Here we go. So we're going to go activity. Lots of work being done here. And it looks like it was a big jump, right? So this 800, 900. It's kind of, yeah. Let's see. Well, Penrose may, it looks like it's not bringing the time. Oh, that's so cool that I can do both cohorts there, bring them both in. Okay, so we got these 7 games. I'm hoping to see one of them. And Iceman is definitely, I believe, is in the program. Penrose, if you want me to look at one of the games in particular, let me know, and I'll take a look. We have loads of games from people I recognize, like Grant Trier, Jerry Mack. All these games are actually pretty interesting. Iceman. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's do Jerry Mack, I think. I believe Jerry Mack is the guy I met from the South. I met him at the Charlotte tournament. We had a little dojo dinner together. Okay. Looking good. And now we're going to say this. That looks good. We'll come back to that. We'll mark reviewed. This is what a dojo game looks like. People using their time because they know I'm going to yell at them if they don't. Do Iceman. Okay, fine. I'll do Iceman. I marked that as reviewed, so give me a pass on that one. Chi Young is commenting in here. Okay. This was perhaps the best game I've played. You wanted me to cover this, Penrose, because it's the best game you played. That's fine. All right, here. Oh, look at that time usage. People really working in this game. Okay. So here we go. So far, we're playing GM level chess. All you got to do is follow the principles. Everything fine so far. 97. A little bit frisky because you're allowing black to damage your pawn structure. So safer would have been knight b8. Okay, so knight e7 takes h3. Okay. Bishop h5, g4, bishop g6, knight h4. All of these moves by white, I, for the most part, very much like. I'm not sure about this last move, though. So if we think about it, the major problem that black has here is not the double pawns, but the fact that this bishop is buried. It's dead. There's a famous game. Is it Winter versus? Yeah, it's Winter versus Capablanca. Or is it Capablanca? Anyways, Winter Capablanca. Okay, Winter Capablanca, and there it's a very similar structure, and Capablanca is basically like, bro, the game is over. Now at our level, it's not necessarily over, but we definitely want to keep that bishop under lock and key. See, you can't get out. There's no escape. There's no escape anymore. Which means that, first of all, with knight h4, you never want to take the thing, and you never want to play knight f5, because we don't want to trade it off. Furthermore, we got to make sure that d5 doesn't happen to crack him loose. So better was knight d2. Nice developing move. And if d5, we do not take it. We do not set the beast free. We just calmly go back. Thank you very much. Okay, so knight h4, d5, king d7, king h2, weird, d5, good move. Yeah, and now white goes for it with knight f5. So one thing that we want to stress here is that white is not developing their pieces, right? Let's hope you took with the bishop. Boom, nice move. E d5, and now you're just up a piece. Bishop g6. In my world, being up a piece is a winning position. right? You put it as clear advantage. Thank you very much. Queen d6. I like knight takes d5 too. f4. Queen b4. Now you're getting frisky. I'm concerned about f5. Okay? I'm concerned about f5. So maybe even f5 by you to stop the bludgeoning of your bishop. Doesn't look right to me because now you can win the d4 pawn. Fine. Now, let me say this. Your path to 1,000, okay, you're basically there, but even beyond it is win a piece like you've done and then just trade everything off, vacuum that stuff off the board. So, for example, pop, get rid of that thing. Just get rid of it, Then go win this one next. Trade it off and win. Why? When you're up a piece, let's say the count of all the pieces up, you're up a piece that says 24 to 21. If you count them all the points up, you start trading them down. The more you're going to get closer to 2 to 1, right? 24 to 21 is 8 to 7. Pretty soon, every piece we trade, we get closer to a 2 to 1 ratio. Okay, in principle, fine though. What you're doing, good. I don't like it. Scares me a lot because of rook d1, but you're still okay because you can take that knight if you need to. Okay, good. Fancy, not bad. Okay. Jeez, take it easy. Thank you. Penro, you're getting good, man. You're getting good. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, that wasn't it. Okay. Great game. And honestly, Penro, that looks like you're just playing a weaker opponent. But what you're in fact doing is you're playing somebody in the under 1,000 cohort where they're going to give you time, which they did, and they're going to give you pieces, and you took advantage of both of those, right? So that was great. And in fact, like when we look at your moves, the only move that's mildly controversial that was the knight e7. Right? But that was like a higher level mistake. Like how he might take advantage of that. He needs to know Winter Capablanca. You don't know Winter Capablanca until you're 1800. That's going to be up there. It's going to take a while. So that was well done, man. That was well done. Really cool to see that you're making the progress. Okay. So here we go. Gergely. This is the last one of the day. And tomorrow will be a very short day. So Gergely, boom. 1006. Great. We're going to give a follow. Rating. Needs to do the Polgar rating test. Clubs. UK. Okay. Activity. Looking good. Lots of tactics. Got games. And I don't recognize any, so we're going to do... This one might be OTB. Maybe. Just because it says opponent, I'm not sure. Let's click this one for a second. Nice notes people are giving you. We'll mark this as reviewed. Boom. Oh, unfortunately, we don't have the times. Okay, here we go. So far, so good. Good. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Okay. Okay. Now you've won some time. Rook e8. We could consider, maybe you want to annotate knight b4. So, a5. Now, I'd encourage you to think about e5 here too. You're doing great. Good move. So here you're actually in trouble, and I was wondering if your opponent was going to find it. So let's go back a second. So in this position, we needed to have like a spidey sense that maybe we're going to have some grief with this square, right? And so probably a better move would be something like knight d7. Get rid of that thing. So, right, so this goes down. And then good move by your opponent. And I think you are in legitimate grief now. You say knight c4 is a full blunder, but notice what do you want to do? It's one of the reasons why when you say something's a full blunder, give another move. Maybe there isn't a better move. Like in this position, I'm not sure there is a better move than knight c4. Okay. No, it's interesting. Okay, loss of time. Good move. Weird. Okay. Good. You're getting a little bit of counterplay. Oh, now they're getting real frisky. And you played rook e7. So when they kind of lose their mind like this, you will usually be able to do something tactical. In this case, you could play takes, knight e3, forking the queen and the rook. And say, oh, what about my knight? Oh, then I'll win the queen because we got this discovered check. Right? The white again lost time. Bishop h3, king f2. No one knows why they were doing it. In those situations, you will gain tactical opportunities. It looks like something nasty is going to happen with this e3 pawn. f5, takes. Now knight takes e3. Nice! You found it, dog. I'm quite proud of this move, threatening to win back my rook or even win a queen. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this is definitely a high-level tactic, and it's been kind of staring at you for the last couple moves, and you found it. So that's great, man. That is absolutely great. Thank you very much. Queen g6. I like queen h5 a little bit better. Good move. Check to the miserable king. And now we have ourselves a pretty interesting endgame. You played rook e6. I would prefer rook a7. He should think about playing a4 to activate his rook. Does so. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. This person hasn't learned the discover check thing. Check to the miserable king. Ah, we're under control, huh? Oh, okay. Severe blunder, losing me the game. Yeah, so we needed to play g6 just without getting fancy here, right? Just g6. Oh, bummer. Be great to know the times here. Now, are you, yeah, it's in trouble now. Because see, if we go bishop f4, he's going to play rook takes f4. We have truly lost the thread now. Oh, no. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, g6. By the way, this position, we're not ready to resign yet. And g6 feels very suspicious to me. Okay? Because g6, now this bishop can't get out anymore. Can't get out. So king g7, king e2. And now you can go win that pawn with bishop c2. Who's winning? We don't know. g6 wasn't it. Now you're just losing time. So this, I want you to see, is psychologically, it's despondency. Okay? Just despondency. So, yeah, you're still fully in this game, but you lost time, let's say, beginning here. When king e2, it's like, oh, what is time? What would time possibly mean in this position for you? It would mean organizing this, or it would mean attacking this, right? Okay. So there it is. And even here, Let's just say that bishop on h7, they've killed themselves so thoroughly by that this game isn't over. Oh, notice what you did. That white isn't threatening anything, but this frees the bishop from all its problems. Oh no. Bishop g8 was the last straw. Oh, man. All right, very instructive, you guys. I'm going to myself take a quick break.